So, what's going on social media land, tool groupies? The Backwoods mechanic here at the Backwoods garage, and today, yet again, I'm going to be talking to you about a hyper tough ratchet wrench 7-piece set. Now, as you might notice, I've already done a review about this particular set whenever I got it in, got it out of the box, all that good stuff, showed you about it, told you about it. But I decided to go back and pick up another set. This time I decided to pick up the 7-piece ratchet wrench set. That was the metric version. So now I have got the standard and I've got the metric. I've got a good set of them. So right now I'm going to tell you a little bit about both. Now the thing is about these particular sets of ratchet wrenches, hyper tough. Alright, Wal-Mart decided to buy the name Hyper Tough. They've got a tool company out there somewhere making these tools for them. So whoever it is, whether it's Gearwrench who's making these tools, putting their name on it, whether it's Stanley, most likely Stanley, we don't know. They're basically taking the name brand, slapping it on a wrench and putting a little bit lower grade paws inside here, springs, all this good stuff that they make this with. They decide to reduce it, make it worth being cheap. So essentially, it all depends on what you're using these for as to why you need them, why you might buy them. Now, you can go out here and get some from Harbor Freight. They've got ratchet wrenches too. They're just as expensive as what these are. $18 and some change at Walmart, right at 20 bucks, depending on where you're at in the United States, where you're going to buy them at, how much they're going to cost you. Then you can go down to Harbor Freight, get the Pittsburgh Pro versions of these, and they might come with a lifetime warranty. You break them, you take them back. It just depends on where you are, who you are, your taste in the equipment, what you're deciding to use these things for. Now, these, I'll go ahead and tell you, these are not for your every single day use as a full-time mechanic, as a full-time do-it-yourselfer technician who might want to pull these out and use them every other car you work on. This is probably not going to be the set for you, but it depends on, like I said, you as the person. All right, you, whatever your job is, these might be the set for you. If you're somebody who works on appliances all day long, this might be a set for you. If you're somebody who's just a do-it-yourself handyman type person who tinkers around on stuff around your house frequently, this might be a good set for you because you can use them in a manner that they're going to last for a long, long time, and you're not going to have to invest the money in it that you would if you bought a set of gear wrench. Okay, so essentially it's just all dependent on you, how you use them, the type of work you do, what you intend to do with them. You could take these things, buy you a set. Let's say that you, your wife, you're driving down the road, whatever, and you always end up breaking down or having something you got to do or run across somebody who needs something. This you could buy and have it in a set of tools at your house in what I like to call the loaner toolbox. It's something that I use around the house if I need them. And if somebody comes up to me and says, hey man, hey hippie, do you got any tools I can borrow? Why, I sure do. I'll let them have these to borrow, but I'm not going to let them get my gear wrench. They're not walking out the door with a good set of tools. So it's my loaner set / do it around the house set. And these are also the type of sets, you can throw in your wife's vehicle. You can go drive around. If you was to break down, guess what? You already got a good set of tools in there. You ain't got to worry about locking up your gear wrench or, not having them at your garage when you need them and all that good stuff, because these are a nice cheap set of tools that you can afford to leave in the vehicle. And 9 to 10 most of the time, you'll need a metric set to be in your vehicle because, let's face it, that's what most stuff in America is on vehicles since the 90s. Now, if you're working on machinery and equipment, things of that nature, you might need the standard set. These are good to throw on the back of your four-wheeler whenever you're going somewhere. Throw on your motorcycle. Whatever the case may be. You know your job better than I do. It just depends on what you're doing that you might have the need for these. Now, as far as that goes, these will last a long time for one simple reason. If you use them right, they will last. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Now, for one, I've got a regular set of hyper tough wrenches that I bought specifically to throw down in the garage here. In case anybody wants to borrow them, people that I work with want to borrow them and take them and, work on their stuff with. I'm not going to be out very much money. And I'll tell you one thing, I beat the hell out of these things with vans, and they work perfectly good to take abuse with. You can heat them and bend them and make them special or whatever, but I'm just showing you this for an example. If you get into a spot with a ratchet wrench, and you got a good name ratchet wrench such as gear wrench right here, it's not going to be too bad to sit here and put full torque on this thing and torque the far out of it. Put yourself in a place where you're going to put a lot of torque on something. Now, I can take what is essentially a cheater wrench, and I can put it over the edge of this, and I can torque it. I know there's plenty of mechanics out there who's done this, plenty of people who's done this. Or you can take a hammer, you can hold it like this, you can beat the hell out of the back of your wrench, and you can break these fasteners loose. Now, for me, I don't even do this rarely with my gear wrench because, quite frankly, I don't want to ruin my actual ratchet wrench. So what I always end up doing is I put a regular wrench, if I can manage it, on anything that I'm working on, and I put that cheater wrench on the outside of it, and I'll hammer it, and these good set of cheap tools right here will break that fastener loose. And as soon as that fastener's loose, I will go ahead and I will put my ratchet wrench on there, and then I will continue to break the fastener loose with my ratchet wrench, and then it will do whatever work I need it to do in the space that I'm confined to. And there's a variety of these ratchet wrenches out here. You got the ones with the flex heads, you got the ones with the curved. I mean, they all have the same similar function. It's just a matter as to what you want out of them. Do you want the stubbies? Do you want the long? Do you want the flex head? You know, do you want the solid bodies? Thing is, with these particular ratchet wrenches, I do this with my good ones. That way it saves my good ones from the wear and tear, and they'll last twice as long. It's only the smart option to break something loose that way if you can manage it. So if I do that with these ratchet wrenches, it's going to be the exact same concept, and it will make these ratchet wrenches last for a long, long, long time. But most of the time, if you're just somebody who's going to have them for a specific purpose, and you ain't got to break apart a whole lot of nuts and bolts, guess what? These will be ideal for you. You can go to Wal-Mart sometimes, Christmas sale, whatever. Get you a nice little set of these. You can even get these hyper tough wrenches, 10 bucks. You can get the big pack for 20 bucks. And this particular set right here is the big pack that I paid $20 for, and they are also what you call my loaner tools. They're my beat to death tools. These are the ones that I use and abuse all the time. On top of that, you get stubby wrenches with it, you get the long wrenches with it, you get metric standard, both of them. So you can beat something to death with those. And whenever you loosen up your fastener, you can pull out this thing and go right to town. So if you're somebody who wants to keep something in your vehicle on the road, a loaner toolbox on your four-wheeler, or you might have like me, I have specific things in my shop that I work on. I have an upstairs, I have a downstairs, and I've got certain things in between that I work on that I tinker with from time to time. So I want these to be able to set easily accessible so that I can grab them and go just to work on things from time to time. And I save my good stuff for the major body work, the major deals, you know, the automotive repair, the industrial equipment. That's when I want to be able to depend on these gear wrench ratchet wrenches. So let's get down to the products themselves. Now, comparing them, the standard to the metric, for whatever reason, they made the case longer with the metric than they did with the standard, which don't really make no sense because, I mean, this is the 3/4 and it sits in here good. Now, for those who don't know, you can check out the other video below. This is a full set. It doesn't skip anything. It goes from 3/8 all the way up to 3/4. You get everything in between. This particular set that I'm going to show you, you get everything from 10 millimeter all the way up to 16 millimeter. Doesn't skip anything in between. And these are actually really good, solid plastic cases. I mean, that's some impressive cases to be such a cheap set. So, these things do have what they consider a 5-year limited warranty on them. So, if you break them, you got your receipt within 5 years, they'll exchange them. You flip the back over here, it tells you it's a fine tooth gear for tightening areas, small 5-degree arc swing, Chrome Vanadium with a mirror finish, 10 millimeter all the way through 16 millimeter, owned by Wal-Mart Stores Incorporated. And surprisingly, this set is made in Taiwan. So that means that this metal is actually a better grade metal than the things made in China. Because Taiwan's been ahead of the game for a long, long time now with cobalt. Now Lowe's has Craftsman going there. Just a whole bunch of things coming out of Taiwan that's really, really good. So as far as the steel goes, it's probably really good quality. It's the cheaper stuff that they put inside here, the little paws and things. So let's pull them out and look at them. Now the side of this box has a little clip here. You pull that clip up and you can open the box. Like I said, it's a really nice box. You could actually cut these edges off on this if you really wanted to. Shorten this down up here, and you could throw this entire set in your toolbox if you're somebody who wanted to have them set side by side so you can still grab them and go. Just depends on where you're going to put them at. Like I said, what you're going to use them for. And as far as that goes, it does have the nice shiny mirror finish. So it does have a really nice shiny finish, and these are pretty nice looking ratchet wrenches here. Now I'm going to set this right beside the gear wrench, because the gear wrench is made pretty much the same. Gear wrench also made in Taiwan for the most part. As you can see side by side, gear wrench is a little bit longer and the wrench is a little bit thinner. So it's actually thinner metal, and they make up for the cheapness in the thickness of the metal that they got here. I'll set them side by side so you can see those. As you can see, the gear wrench is much thinner than what that is, by about half. But the money maker, now as far as the ends go, the open ends, they'll work the exact same, I have a feeling. And they'll be durable for a pretty good long time. But the bread and butter is the ratcheting wrench mechanism itself. So first I will put this on here so you all can hear it. That is the Hyper Tough compared to the gear wrench. You can tell that the gear wrench is a little bit better. Oh yeah, let's see if we can get her tightened up here so we can hear the wrenching going on. Alright. Now that is what the Hyper Tough sounds like compared to what the gear wrench. They're really similar. The one thing that I'll tell you though, if you look at Hyper Tough close, is you can move these around a little bit more. You can feel them move back and forth a little bit more than what you can the gear wrench. But all in all, folks, like I said, if you make sure your stuff is took apart just right, then guess what? This is still going to do its job that it is intended to do whenever you pull it out of the box and use it. Regardless of where you're going, it will tighten up fasteners. It will loosen fasteners. And it will last for a long time if you use them correctly. So, if you like seeing these tool reviews, if you want to see these things in action, you want to see me take them and do the different work that I do, whether it's on industrial equipment, automotive equipment, this, that, and the other, hit the subscribe button below, because I tell you what, every single time I do a job, I'm working on getting a camera right now that's going to be able to get set up and record the things that I do right now. It's all picking up my phone, pulling it out, using a spare phone to record this stuff, so I ain't got that much time to do it. Every time I do a job is whenever I get paid, I go buy a set of tools from some of the money every single time. So there's always going to be plenty of tools to review. There's always going to be plenty of things to do, plenty of things to see. If you want to stay up to date, if you want to hear tips, tricks, all that good stuff, go ahead and like the page. I'm also on Facebook. Go to the Backwoods Hippie Garage. Like the page, follow it. I'll put different content on there sometimes. And I'll see you all next time. Till then, keep on wrenching and make the good decisions, folks, because you are what makes these tools. Alright, the tools do not make you, you are what makes the tools. How you use them, how smart you are, how much you educate yourself, that's what makes a successful mechanic, is getting the job done correctly. Backwoods Mechanic, I'm out.